U.S. President Joe Biden has called for action to stop gun violence following the latest mass shooting at Michigan State University. 3 students were killed and 5 others wounded before the gunman took his own life at the campus in East Lansing. Police have identified the suspect and say he had a history of mental illness. Dan Williams reports from East Lansing.
This is a community in shock following the horrific events of Monday night when a 43-year-old suspect, Anthony McRae, with no known affiliation to this university, attacked this university at 2 separate locations. It began shooting shortly after 8 o'clock, and shortly after that, police did release a picture of what they thought was the suspect, and an alert citizen tipped off the police that led them to the location where they found the suspect, who had died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now, the motive is still unclear, but his father, Michael McRae, has begun to paint a picture of his son, saying that he'd become more bitter, isolated, and what he described as evil angry, it coming after his mother had died just a few years ago. But there will be questions as to how he managed to get hold of a gun. He had pleaded guilty of a firearms charge a few years ago as well, and that point is something that's not lost on many of the students here.
I hope that something changes, because I hope that other students don't have to go through what we're going through and don't have to experience the changes that we're going to experience since we did have a mass shooting. And it was someone that didn't go here, was 43 years old, had no affiliation to us.
Now, the US President Joe Biden has said that he is praying for the victims of this mass shooting and has said that too many American communities are being impacted by gun violence. He's calling on Congress to enact gun law reforms. That, of course, was a theme of his State of the Union address just last week. Those views have also been echoed by the Michigan Governor, Gretchen Whitmer. And it comes, of course, after this is now the 67th mass shooting of 2023. There have already been a number of high-profile mass shootings, such as the one in Monterey Park, California, that left 11 people dead. And, of course, marks also 5 years to the day since the Parkland mass shooting in Florida, of course, that led to so many protests and calls for gun reform. And yet here we are once again with more questions than answers. Dan Williams, CGTN in East Lansing, Michigan.